Okay, and we are in.
My
Well,
Bitcoin has reached $53.03 in worth.
ooh,
From
I spent probably
$52.
about 47.
Hey,
okay,
that's a
so you're
profit.
out ahead.
That's like 10%
Yeah.
up.
Alrighty, well, welcome everybody back to the Aberrant Empire, a joyous place that we all love to be. Nothing wrong about this world at all. Nothing oppressive or depressing. So let me see if I can recap the third arc, because we're heading into arc 4. The third arc started after the big explosion of Maybun, and somebody tipped off that Anwar may have been responsible for the bombing, and that then led other people to connect to the rest of you. So basically, you all were outed for something you didn't even do. Luckily, you had an insider who was defecting around the same time, and she gave you a heads up, and you all escaped through the sewer, got out of Stem Garden, and then the main thing to do was to get over to make sure that Anwar's family was okay. So you journeyed over that way. I know, girls. So I know you're excited.
We all are.
Yeah, they're so excited to be back. So yeah, during that time, there was all sorts of side quests. You had Hunter got his body back after doing this ritual from a shamanic witch woman. Kamira got her old house back from some quicklings. Audra found the person who killed her sister.
Yeah.
And surprisingly let him go after dealing a brutal blow to his hand and also scaring the shit out of him, basically trying to turn him and his partner against the Empire and making them defect as well. So we might be seeing more of him at some point. You guys made an ally friend with the Quickling, and Anwar, of course, got his parents back, and you are using Kamira's old place as a base. So that all happened in the course of in-game time that happened in a little over a week. But it took us quite a few weeks to get through all of that, so it was a whole arc for us. We'll just call it the Saving Anwar's Family arc or something. But you all had your own kind of individual quests along the way. And so you have decided to spend about 2 weeks' time recuperating from all of this physical ordeal that you've been through over the past week, and allowing yourself to catch up, to train, to build new resources and gadgets for yourself. And during these couple of weeks, you have noticed things definitely start to shift into fall. Things are starting to get a lot colder. The rainy mornings are starting to turn into rainy morning and afternoons. The rains are getting a little bit heavier, a little bit windier, a little bit colder, and you're definitely starting to bundle up more. You've officially shifted in from what was already kind of jacket weather into a little bit more coat weather, especially during the mornings and the evenings. During the day, maybe you can take off a layer, but definitely mornings and evenings starts to get pretty darn cold. Also during this time, people kind of had some of their own missions as well, so I want to give everybody a chance to say some things that their characters were doing during this downtime. I'm going to go from top to bottom from my view of this, so starting with Kamira. What was Kamira doing during this time?
Hold on. Okay, sorry. There was a sound. I don't know if my tinnitus is kicking in or if it was the music I was listening to. So she kind of just milled about, like, for a decent part of it, just gathering, like, the occasional question to ask alternate timeline people, while simultaneously not being able to come up with any questions that might, like, throw that whole, like, area out of whack because of her probing and sending people on false chases for unnecessary information that could just lead to problems anyway. Aside from that, probably just trying to pick up hobbies, doing, like, her crochet / rug work / just keeping her hands busy the entire time.
So Kamira was in quarantine, basically.
Basically. Emotional quarantine, yeah.
Yes, and during that time, doing some of your lucid dreaming to cross over to the other side to this parallel universe that you may have created somehow with that Soulforge energy. During that time, you definitely got some more information about the explosion that happened and how it potentially happened in a different way in this other universe, and how some things kind of diverged. And certainly the timelines themselves, the parties seem to be diverging as well, because while you guys have been in this central place, the other party has not come back, and they are elsewhere or dead. Who knows? You don't know at this point, but they've not come back. It seems like things have diverged a bit.
Well, and that's where the like not wanting to send people on needless or absolutely reckless tasks to gain information that might not be relevant to me. So it's like, oh, they haven't come back. I'll see you in a few days, I guess, maybe. Bye.
Yeah, so alternate Kamira has been camping out at Inger's house instead of at the well, to them is what the Quickling house is. So yeah, that has gone on. But there is one other thing that happened that I tried to get into last arc, but just the timing didn't quite work out. During this time of the lucid dreaming and stuff, at times you have been in control of it and you've been able to cross to the other side fairly easily. But one time while you kind of entered this lucid state, something came to you. This is not something I've talked about between. During this time, in a dream, a giant wolf, the size of the trees themselves, came forward to you and welcomed you back to the forest, to your home, where you've grown up. And so I've been giving people little like bonuses for completing their like personal arcs. So Hunter got dark vision when he completed his restoring his body thing. Anwar, after getting his parents back, got the extra invocation from his father. Or infusion, sorry, not invocation, infusion. And for you, the wolf is granting you the blessing of the wolf, which means that you now have the pack tactics ability.
Yes.
So you continually help people by being right next to them. You get all these benefits to like helping shield others, and in return for that, you now get a bonus to attack too. So you are really incentivized to be like within 5 feet of another person.
So babies.
Yeah, so that
That's so
instinctive energy to protect, that amplifies to the point where you're not just defending people right next to you, but you have like that heightened ability to fight even more aggressively when you're fighting right next to an ally beside you that you're trying to protect. So that is your bonus thing. And so that is everything for Kamira. Is there anything else you wanted to add for Kamira's part for this?
No, not really. Like, aside from like her being exceptionally quiet during those days. I mean, other than that, probably nothing too crazy with her.
All right. Next, from my perspective, is Ryan.
Okay. So Anwar has been basically in full Tony Stark in a cave somewhere in the Middle East mode, where like basically for like the last 2 weeks straight, he's been outfitting Kamira's house or Kame house into a functioning artificer workshop. There's a forge in and back, and probably in like a shoddy shed of some kind. But he and his dad and his mom, who together are able to forge and then infuse item with magic, have been working. And Anwar's been working on a number of new gadgets and gizmos that he'll be using along our adventures coming up. This is kind of retroactively talking about his level 5 and maybe level 6 stuff. But one of those things, and I apologize in advance, I meant to type this up today, but one of these things is a item for someone in our group. It is a second item. What's that?
Is it to be revealed, or are you revealing it now?
I can do it now, if we're doing what we've been doing for the last 2 weeks, or I can do it when we leave camp.
It's up to you.
I'll say towards the end, when we're leaving our 2 weeks have been hit.
Okay, we'll put a pin in that then.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, kind of like, and not that they can turn it into a fortress in 2 weeks by any means. If Richard's house is any indication of how
For real.
things work.
In case
with
anyone
you'll
was
get
wondering why
2 weeks, you'll get like a quarter of your kitchen done. You know.
But you know, you got like 4 or 5 low-level superheroes with nothing else to do. You can get a lot done during that time.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what Anwar's been up to, is building, and you know, so you'll see him out in the back testing out new inventions and things like that.
And during that time, you start to see a different side to your parents that you've not seen before. Perhaps it's like just before there was more of a reserved nature and that feeling of like, hey, let's like just keep our head down and then everything will like be okay in the long run. Like think about the long game. Like even if things are not so great right now, just like keep your head down. Like that's really the move to go. But now, especially your father is kind of like jazzed up in a way you've not quite seen him before, and he's starting to just brainstorm ideas and he'll bounce them off you sometimes. There might be a spell or two that you know that maybe he gave you the idea for, because he's just kind of spitfiring away. His skill is not at the level that yours is, but definitely you're seeing him like discussing things with your mom, and your mom's going back and forth, and you know, so she has to like shut him up sometimes because he's like, all right, we can do this, we can do that. And you just never quite seen their interaction like that before. Not only do you see them both, sometimes they'll be like bickering a bit, they'll kind of like be butting heads because they're both passionate about kind of starting this stuff, but also you'll just see them being a bit more affectionate towards each other in ways that before they were just like more reserved and more kind of calm about it. So it's kind of like interesting to see like that you're seeing this new side to your parents that you haven't seen before. And moving on with that, next I've got Andrew on my thing here.
Fantastic. Hunter has been spending a lot of the downtime. I'm brewing shit. He's kind of cooking up some more shine, which also means some more Molotov cocktails. Stowing those away. He's also been spending a lot of his evenings and sometimes mornings kind of meditating and like a lot of inner calm kind of stuff going on there. But some of the more active things he's been doing, he's been kind of passing notes with a quickling and kind of trying to communicate with Paul and some of the folks back in Stem Garden. He's also been passing notes to the madam, trying to talk about making sure power vacuums are filled appropriately and making sure that any damage we do doesn't leave, you know, holes for worse things to come up or for nothing to happen. So a lot of kind of tech talk there. And then definitely some assisting with the houses, trying to dump some sweat equity into those locations as well, helping out with you guys. Other than that, Hunter's picking up a book and reading every now and then. He'll constantly, not constantly, occasionally kind of lean into Anwar's, wherever Anwar is, and ask him to define a word or a pronunciation, and then kind of run back off to the fire to cook and read. And that's kind of
Which books are you reading?
That's a good question.
Like, are you still reading Anwar's old books, or are you reading or are you reading the book with all the devil stories, or?
Definitely the devil stories he's kind of studying. Those are more for work. Anwar's books are more for like leisure and fun. And like, even though some of them are way beyond his capacity, he's like learning and kind of having fun with that whole process, where it's like, this isn't vital to like what's going on now. This is fun. So
okay, well, that's interesting that you're reading some of the books. Is one of the books that you read the book that Arantis left behind?
Oh, absolutely. If he left that
okay, you're
behind.
going to notice something in there that so far has not been noticed this entire time when you look through that.
Don't
He
make
has
me
left-
spit take. This will stain.
All right, finish your drink then. Okay. So.
Sorry, go ahead.
In a map, in like a geography section, of the far lands, you notice that there are little inscriptions. One looks like a set of eyes, one looks like a moon, one looks like a sunrise, and so you're just noticing various symbols are made at various parts that are marked on the map, which I will, assuming you guys are on the map right now, you are, okay. Assuming that is the case, I will reveal them for you. They're all just kind of like very simple kind of sketches in his very kind of Scantron kind of style. But it looks like this has been left behind. Let me put them around. There's 3 of them.
Okay, see a little ice crystal there. See a peaky boy there.
Peaky boy.
I see a.
No,
Fire.
there's a whole
The
bunch.
Whoa.
temple.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, the one,
Whoa.
the Soulforge Temple, right?
Mhm.
Mm. Oh right, and you got some
Eye.
other ones last time, right? Or no? Didn't you get?
This is the first you're ever seeing any of these.
Oh okay. I
Although
thought we had
the
some stuff
circles
marked
that
from last time.
overlap, yeah, the red circles, those overlapped some of the locations.
those were
from
devils.
Tales.
Yeah, the circles were the locations of devil stories.
But seeing that in Phronotia,
Phrenesia.
Phrenesia, there is some sort of temple, like in one of the red circles. That's big.
Yeah, I can move this down so you can see that there's still a city there.
What is that image?
That's for you guys to find out.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. I dig that.
So yeah, that's a thing that you notice.
Oh, that's definitely something the group would know as well. Like as I'm
Yeah.
discovering this stuff, like
Yeah, the
Okay.
group would know this, but as far as rolling any checks for anything, you guys know as much as, maybe even less than what players. As players, maybe you recognize some of these symbols, but as PCs, the only thing you would really put together that you'd know for sure is that Forge Temple is right where that flame is. It's like a flame
Well,
over a hand.
And this
This
was a
was a
map we
tree.
found?
This is a map within like the geography section of the book that he left behind. Because when you guys went to go look for him at the beginning of the last arc, all you found was a book that he left behind and a wand.
Got it.
But no one ever checked the book. But now that Hunter has, that's stuff that you see.
oh shit, do we have to revisit the Soulforge?
I don't know. It's up to you.
That's terrifying.
So,
Spooky.
in any case, all of that happens, and also during, I assumed it was you took a trip yourself to go see the madam, and like were able to like sneak in and out one last time to Water
Absolutely.
Wheel. Yeah, as far as Power Vacuum goes, she kind of told you a tale about how tribes that have been displaced, their plan is to take back their land. And there were a number of tribes that kind of banded together to create this town that became the city of Stebgarden after it was taken over. And it was led by a fierce half-orc warrior who had 2 sons, a rightful son and a bastard son. And each of those sons ended up forming tribes of their own out in Berserkshire. And they very much are interested in taking that place back. And so when the tribes kind of come back, their plan is anyway that at some point people would have to throw their support behind somebody. But that's yet to be worked out. That could be an issue of conflict perhaps. But
Sorry,
that
this-
is
It was really funny to hear you say "bastard son" and then hear a squeaky toy like behind you.
Oh,
as soon as you
yeah.
say it. The son of the king.
God damn you, dog!
It was funny.
Anyway, so I don't have to do a whole info dump on that right now, but just know that there is talk of tribes coming back to take their land, and that there is some rivalry between two half-brothers, two sons of the previous chief. And yeah, that's kind of the main stuff for Hunter. So next is Audra.
Yeah.
What has Audra been up to?
I imagine mine's probably the briefest. So she's definitely helping out around the place. I'm sure making use of mending here and there when other projects go awry. Definitely would have helped put together like those like kind of straw training dummies. One of them will probably look suspiciously like a squid priest. And so doing that, and of course, kind of practicing her maneuvers there. And I think also just, kind of just assisting Anwar's folks when needed. They're obviously tinkerers and very handy with the craft. But Audra,
Yes.
Can work a straight up forge, which I'm sure will come in handy for various, metal reinforcements of the home maybe, and things like that. So that's kind of where I see her
Sure.
occupying her time.
Is there anything else with prayers or anything like that with the becoming, or are you kind of taking a break from him, or?
I'm sure those happen because I think kind of doing this work sort of isolated in the woods like this is almost kind of representative of what the becoming is, right? This like cyborg god that like it lives in the woods somewhere, right? So I'm sure there's like, I don't know if there's any like special requests going up, but there's probably like daily meditations and things like that, and probably asking for opportunities to take on the priest, because as much as like Audra can have those sort of horse blinders on, right, and kind of like go on these revenge paths, like she is very much aware. It's really risky to go back to Storm Garden right now, or Stem Garden at all right now. B, taking on a priest like that, like even she knows that that's not going to work. They will not win that fight in their current state. So it's a lot of prayers for growth and opportunity to do that to the becoming. I don't think there's anything. I feel like we're still probably fairly far from another level up, so I don't think there's any sort of specific stuff she would be thinking about, like I'm thinking about the ability to do this or spells like this. I don't think there's any prayers to that degree. But yeah, definitely like, at least a daily moment of just like, thanks for your help, and then ting 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 making things.
Yeah, some things for Audra. One is by working on this forge, like helping to build the forge and then using the forge with others. It's the first time you've gone back to working in a forge in a while.
Yes.
And when doing that, when going back to more forge working, your original god seems to smile upon you yet again, and you are now able to use your original channel divinity in place of your new one for any time it's like, there's not battles going on or whatever. You can now use the forge. That magic returns to you.
Okay.
Almost as like a, hey, thanks for still doing this.
Nice.
Like this, like it looks like that god still wants that relationship with you to some degree.
Sick.
So
I have basically 3 options now because I have, the turn undead comes standard.
Yep.
Cool.
Which, like the turn undead hasn't come up yet, but it could at some point.
Hey, we met a
Somewhere
robot.
Arantis is like, you're welcome.
Right, exactly. Like we met a robot who fought it. So, yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
So there is
Thanks,
that
Richard. That's
going
dope.
on. As well as I picture like sometimes a prayer might only last maybe a minute, but you'll kind of get like transported sometimes to like these visions of these long walks with the becoming, and he'll just kind of walk along his metallic stream with you, just kind of talking to you about wisdom and stuff. Just as a little prep for level 6, he is going to be mentioning about how you can work on channeling his blessings through you, and you can even pass those blessings on to others.
Yeah, totally.
Which is, in the meta form, basically your channel divinity will eventually let you to pass your +10 onto other people, and you'll be able to do your channel divinity more.
Cool. Yeah.
So he will start to talk to you about that, and he's also interested in your story about your sister, and he will talk about his understanding being that your sister's soul was like buried back into the earth, but it cannot rest until you finish avenging her. Very, talking very much
Sure.
in warlike terms, given that he's a war god, and at least from his belief, once she is finally avenged and the soul can rest, the soul will distribute through the roots, through the soil, and everything else, and you will be able to connect with her soul,
All right.
in new, interesting ways once she is avenged, which is in the meta form is like, hey, you're gonna get your arc bonus too when it's when
Gotcha.
that's there.
That's awesome, man. That
so
gives
anyway.
me a thought for, I guess we'll do RP here in a moment. And also, I'm sorry if I asked this before, I can't recall. Did we give a name to like the like forest or whatever where the Becoming hangs out?
No, I've just been calling it like the copper forest or the metal forest,
Right,
because it's
okay.
basically a forest filled with like copper leaves and stuff.
Cool.
Copper and
Like
brass
Copper
leaves.
Forest.
Yeah, that sounds cool. It doesn't make a huge difference. I was just I couldn't recall if we'd labeled it yet. Dope.
No, we don't label it. We'll just call it the copper forest then.
Well, that is all really
Um,
fun stuff, though. Thank you.
Cool. And so let's say this. So you're planning on 2 weeks. We're going to start our adventure a couple days earlier than that. So about 10 days in or about 12 days in instead of 14 days in or whatever it may be. Or sorry, 10 days in instead of 12 days in because they're 6-day weeks. Things are cut a little bit short, but let's just kind of set the scene for what kind of a typical day is. You're expecting within the next 2 or 3 days you're going to finally venture out. What's a day looking like for you guys? You can go ahead and RP a little or whatever. We can start with. Sorry for my dogs.
Can I ask real quick, Sid? You're like your alternate world travels whatever timeline thing. Is that just a Kamira thing, or is the party aware?
I think the only person that might know that she even has the ability to like fix certain things going on in our timeline is Anwar.
Okay.
And
Never mind what I was
considering-
gonna ask about
Yeah.
that. No worries.
Because she likes to remind Anwar anytime we did something cool, it was actually a fixed timeline. That was just a variant.
It's just like, you just died. What? No, I didn't. You did.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
Anwar, you're like a variant or something, man.
What was I gonna say? So just to paint the scene, we'll call this around midday. It's still kind of raining, but the rain is starting to let up. The sun is poking through the canopy of the forest a bit, and you can kind of see that the rain's kind of turned into a bit of a drizzle. It's starting to get a bit warmer. You can probably take off a layer of cloak or whatever it might be at this point. Kind of midday, kind of shortly after lunch, kind of like some people are kind of finishing up lunch, people might be heading back into working on stuff. So what are y'all doing in a typical down day like this?
Typical down day. Oh god, I don't even know what I do with those in real life anymore.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. I was like, what are those? I stopped working half an hour ago.
There would definitely be. I think that Anwar's father would probably be one of the first ones to be like, "Well, I'm done lunch, heading back in to start tinkering away again and working on." Because it's still kind of like a work in progress. It's gotten pretty far because there's been like nonstop dedicated work, but there's still work to be done on the workshop and stuff.
Well,
I want to
Pops,
take-
before you go,
A
go
meander
ahead.
in the rain.
yeah.
And then I come back and actually go back to work. But I want to meander in rain.
All right.
Hey, Pops, before you go, how's this batch treating you? You think this is ready? And I'll hand him a little snifter.
Yeah, this is ready. Yep.
Yeah, that flavor, just a little pinch of cardamom before, like that tail end.
But
Yeah.
the smell just
Oh yeah, that'll clear your
can
senses.
smell it. Can smell its potency.
Right on. All right. Well, I hope the rest of your workday is a little nice.
Yes, I hope I don't. Hope I do not hammer any fingers.
Don't breathe too close to any candles, in like 20 minutes.
Why are you afraid I will do this? And he just like spits a little fire thing, not to the point that like a dragonborn could, but just a little kind of a little
that's
fire
cool.
genasi fire goes out like. Yep.
That gives me a thought, and Andrew, you tell me if you're on board with this. I don't know how often, like, maybe Hunter makes a batch that, like, isn't up to par, right? But I was thinking, so what if for ones like that, we built, sort of like, almost like a what is it called? Like a clay pigeon kind of thing, right? For, like, skeet shooting. And then we could, like, test fireball spells as they fly through the air.
I do like that. It'd be clay flasks. Yeah. Well, funny thing, I don't want to get too deep into it, but basically, when you make moonshine, there are different like percentages of the batch, and there's a significant. There's like I don't have the numbers pulled up, but it's like between 5 and 15% of it is, it will like hurt you physically. It's basically like nail polish.
So there's
where
like
it's
a
very
runoff we could
flammable.
just use for this.
Yeah,
He's
and
been using that
that's
from the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
oh,
my
okay.
that's what the like Molotovs he has are.
Oh,
There's a
sick.
portion that's like not safe to drink. There's the main portion that's like good to drink, and then a tail end that's like slimy nonsense that isn't
Okay.
useful for anything.
Okay, so there's
yeah.
already like a byproduct to use here. Sick. So I like as part of like the sort of like training grounds that like Audra was building up with the training dummies, then yeah, I think we could totally rig up like a thing like that, like sort of a proto pitching machine, if you will, to like fling those, and then we can be training with those too. So I feel like on the off day, Audra is maybe like it's not really an off day because she's still kind of training, right? But
No.
like is
No,
doing that, and then like throwing off her like sacred flames, I guess they would be.
That's a valuable flammable item. I don't know. We could be using that for hurting stuff. I
Well,
don't know.
Of course, but alternatively, the better we get using it now, the more handy we will be when we do need to hurt someone with it.
With flinging clay pigeons? Maybe we're not on the same page here.
It's just target practice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fine. I'm going to dump more apples into the machine for now then, and if you decide to change your mind, the Molotovs would make some cool
All right.
targets.
They'd make some hot targets another time.
Yes, they would.
What's
The dogs agree.
I'm sorry, they're
No,
so
it's
into
fine.
each
No,
other
it's
right
fine.
now.
It's dogs being dogs, man.
Ordinary.
They're being happy.
They're
love
basically
fall.
kissing right now. They're just like "Rawr," just like putting their jaws up to each
Oh,
other.
by the way, we didn't say now that it's this group back together, but we officially passed 5 years, right, of doing this?
Mhm.
I guess
Happy
so.
game anniversary,
Of
y'all.
doing these D&D streams. 5 years.
Nerdiversary?
Nerdiversary. I like that.
Happy nerdiversary,
And
y'all.
a
What,
dice
5 years? Is it metal? No, not really.
Rolliversary. I'm sure there's some good wordplay in there.
Yeah, we got something.
Alrighty.
It's wood.
Hmm.
5th
Great.
anniversary is wood.
So Anwar's going to see that it's kind of, you said it was lightly raining outside,
Mhm.
and it's better for his experiments with the suit when it's not rain. Not that it will rust, but it's just a pain to get clean, and he can't have a dirty suit of armor with the mud and everything, and it kind of gets into the joints. So he's going to go sit at the desk that's right by the window, and he's going to start drawing schematics, and it's going to look very repetitive. Like if you were to watch it for a long time, it would seem very simple, him just doing these animations. And I imagine even though Artem's character isn't here, the cat will sit on the windowsill of this picture, and he'll be making these like simple adjustments to his work. And obviously, this is not the right race or anything, but it'll look something kind of similar to this while just sitting there doing his work and maybe I'll put on some light, basic music while this is happening, and I'll just kind of do that for a couple hours and just work on his, maybe sip some coffee. So.
So, one thing you guys have grown accustomed to over the past nearly couple weeks is you're quickly kind of giving the daily report like he's Zazu. You're used to him coming back kind of later in the day because he kind of scouts out through a bunch of the day and comes back in the evening. But he comes back early today. And he reports, especially with how fast he talks, it's hard for him to get out exactly what he's describing. But you as players at least would you shut up?
No!
My dogs are so distracting I can't focus on thinking. Anyway, hey, come here and lay down. Sit. There you go, lay down. Okay. Twig, the charming little quickling that you befriended thanks to your magical Colonel Corn, reports to you sightings. First of all, he has been reporting to you for a number of days that at this point, Stem Garden is totally shut down. No one in or out. There have been people going down or going up north the main road from Gangleton up to Stem Garden. There's just more and more reinforcements going all the time. And at this point, there have been numerous attacks that have been going around the strait that you guys could have potentially done battle at. There has been battle going on there for the past couple weeks, and they're fully expecting at some point that the barbarians will reach Stem Garden. So they're fully fortifying that. Waterwheel also has been getting more reinforcements, also much harder to get into now than it was. Although for you guys with your water, maybe you could, but there's definitely a lot more reinforcements that have just been traveling north via the main road. But at this point, he really starts to freak out on this particular day because he reports back of some giant creature that is the size, half the size of a tree, gigantic creature with
Not a tree.
with 8 different trunks coming out of its face. Sydney's saying something.
Oh, I was just screaming, not a tree!
No, it basically what he's describing is basically an elephant with 8 tentacle trunks. And this isn't elephant. This is Lord of the Rings, Oliphant, big ass elephant with 8 different tentacles going out. And he also has described that every few miles, tendrils shooting out, there are these weird things that are floating that kind of go off in different directions that each have 8 tentacles of their own. Basically, they, as a player, you would understand that almost as flying octopuses that are just kind of going out. He has a hard time describing it because he's never seen anything like it in his life. But that's basically the picture that he's painting for you. Is flying octopuses that are going out, and when they go out from the main road, they're marching up north along this main road, and then just at various points they're just releasing out these things that are going off into the swamp towards the west and going out towards the woods in the east. And he's freaking out because one of those things is headed your way. It is going right in the path that would lead to your little hideout area. It is a lot slower than him. It seems to hover rather slowly, but he did notice that once it got into the forest, it started blending in. Very similar to a Pass Without Trace spell. You can just kind of camouflage in with the wood, so it's kind of hard to see. But he just got the fuck out of there at that point because the whole thing spooked him enough. And he just repeats all that to you, blurting out as fast as he can in a way that's a little hard to understand. He's going to have to repeat himself, but eventually that is the information that he gets across to you all. So, anyways, that is what happened. Then, we got to do something because that thing's coming. All right.
I'm gonna do 2 things. I'm gonna try to calm him down, and I'm gonna do that by diverting topics and checking in. All right, cool. Settle down, have a drink here. Let's pour you half of that. Have a sip. and tell me how's Pa doing. How are things around the farm?
He's really ornery. Everybody's pissed at him because he's pissed at everybody. He wants stuff to do.
Dang it, Pa, the man cannot sit down for a minute. I tell you what.
That's what they say.
That's what they say, ain't it? Yeah.
I mean, they didn't say it to me, but I overheard the yelling, and then I got out of there.
I feel you. All right, you did good, man. Take a nap or something, whatever the hell you do.
Screw that! I'm getting out of here.
Okie dokie.
I mean, I'll be back, but I'm gonna go to Heidi's spot that's not here, and he's gonna.
I was gonna tell him to go and warn Inga, maybe, just to stay inside. Yeah, just tell her to stay inside. Yeah.
I'm sure at this point he knows where Inger's place is. So yeah, he'll speed
You have to
over
keep
there.
him plied with kettle corn somehow.
That's true. That's very true. He's probably made quite a few trips to her place.
Probably the dead of night, 1 a.m. Just, I want the kettle corn. Hey,
you up?
The kettle corn, give it to me. So yeah, he's gonna zip over there and warn Inger about that.
Shit.
Those things are definitely scouts. They're spies. And if they're coming here now, and if we can't see them, we need to douse all our flames. We need to pretend like we're not home.
Yep, right now,
We have
preferably.
so many more structures than before, though. How will we hide it all?
I mean,
We don't need to
have
hide
be
it.
here.
Don't we have
We just need to not be here.
somebody
Fair.
have a spell for like plant growth or something?
I'll tell all the trees to hide us. Nah, we don't have like.
Then they just kick our ass.
hide this. Just boom.
Yeah.
Hide in your graves.
Did he say, Richard, did he say they could fly, or were they on the ground, or climbing?
I guess he would
or what?
describe it more as floating. Like, they weren't. He described them as like not particularly fast, not just for his standard, but in general. They just kind of like floated through, as if floating through water, but it's just through the air. It was incredibly creepy. Like if you've ever seen those octopus kites, it's like that. It looks really creepy.
Octopus
And
kites.
how large are they?
He'd say a comparable size to one of you.
All right, so I've thought about this. I didn't.
Like of something the size of a cuttlefish or something. It's a
Yeah,
whole
like a
ass
little
No,
creature.
this thing's like 6 feet
Oh shit.
in total length, from like head to
Yeah,
end of
I was
tentacle.
picturing something
About
way
6
bigger.
feet.
Also, yo, octopus kite. This is dope. Anyways.
Here's what I think we should do, and I've been thinking about this when they eventually find us and what we need to do. We shut down all the lights. We turn off everything, look like no one's home, and we leave the door cracked open. We're hiding on the outside, looking in. So once they crack open the door, we know they're in the doorway. That's when we attack them. Lock up every other door and window, so they only have one way to go in. If they find it, they'll inspect it. And if they inspect it, we got them.
Audra will like ready her hand on her blade. With this being some sort of scout, I think it's understood we cannot necessarily let it go like we have other members of the Empire.
Well, this seems to be a horrifying squid monster, but if it would like to beg for its life, then we can certainly talk to it.
Yes.
Anwar's gonna run off to go tell his parents and tell them to shut everything down, turn off all the forges, tinkered tools, lights, everything, and just basically like douse everything and get them to hide somewhere quiet and safe.
Okay.
So we're just kind of riding on the hope that we're gonna be able to out hide it.
Richard,
It's kind of.
is it common knowledge that illithids just like detect thoughts of things? Or should we roll?
I
something?
would say that, especially if you've like gone to the temple for your schooling and stuff as a child, you've gotten the sense that at the very you've never seen what these are before, but the Mind Flayer itself, the Illithid that you have seen growing up, you were pretty certain that he could detect your thoughts and he could send you thoughts,
Okay.
So as far as there would probably be times where maybe a kid would hide and it would be able to find them pretty quickly. So I would say that it's not common knowledge, but common suspicion that they can just detect you by your thoughts.
I'm just realizing hide and seek with an Illithid would be no fun.
Yeah.
It really wouldn't.
Anyways, all right. Well, Audra's gonna relay some of that concern then, just like Anwar. I will, or I guess maybe he's already run off, but Audra will say to the others that same information of I am certainly willing to hide and try to attack this thing, but we need to be aware it may be able to detect us in other ways.
Yeah, but we have to try. So
Of course.
here we go.
Well,
What if we can figure out a way to make sure we don't have a thought rattling around in our skulls?
I know it's so far off level-wise, Richard, but could I roll something along magical lines of the possibility of that? I know the spell, Mind Blank exists, but, that's a level 8. So, obviously,
yeah, no.
she has, no,
Yeah, that's not really a thing you can do.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Perhaps someday in the future, Hunter, I don't know about right now. But however this goes, I trust Kamira's blade and I trust your cunning. And Anwar's machinations, but he's elsewhere.
Anwar will come back, and I imagine he'll have some, because he's thought of home aloneing this place since we moved in, basically. Some rope and some pots and pans that he'll tie to the doorknob so that when it opens, I guess the door would open out because it's a front door. Is it the door opens outward, right?
No, it opens
Inward.
Inward.
Inward?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so inward, then he can tie it so that when the door opens inward, the pots and pans will fall off something and they'll rattle, and there'll be a sound to alert that something's coming inside.
Okay.
I guess I want to maybe go around and just do my best to maybe cover whatever footprints we've left about this place, just kind of dragging out foliage. Oh, my little house. The best graffiti artist.
Oh, I'm zoomed way in. Let's fix that.
But yeah, I'll just, I don't know, try to hide tracks as well as I can, I suppose.
Hunter will break down his moonshine kit, and then using chalk will graffiti various areas of the house on the inside, including a to-do list from 2 months ago.
Sid, I don't know when you drew that house, but that legit looks like clip art. Well done.
Very good.
It's the Quickling's house.
Yeah. Because she didn't want him living inside the house. Nope, you get your own little doggy house.
Right? You get your own little mailbox house out here. Here you go.
Yeah. He was happy with it. He was good.
Hey, the
So I
Um,
imagine what we do is we would get a tarp or some kind of natural foliage and hide outside in front of the house, looking in the direction of the road or path coming in and at the house. So the house is the bait and we're waiting to ambush whatever comes.
So are you waiting inside the house, or are you waiting outside the house and you're gonna rush in after it does?
Yeah, outside.
We're
That would
we're
be my
trying to
thing.
basically bottleneck it into the house by hiding outside of the house. So when it's like, why is this door cracked open? We get a bum rush the fuck out of it.
Okay.
I am. I'll have it picked out by the time I think it becomes an issue. But I'm currently preparing my spells because
Okay.
I'm not gonna have much use for Water Walk right now, so I want to swap that out for a different level 3.
Yeah, just pick whatever. Just remember that you only have like the Just pick whatever like you would have at the beginning of that day, because I don't think you were expecting any action, but maybe
Right.
you guys have been prepared for anything, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah. Oh man, if we really wanted to hide, how about meld into stone? But yeah, that's meta.
Alrighty. So is that the plan? Are we good? Are we good to go?
If this were a normal day, Anwar probably wouldn't have invisibility, but he would probably have enhanceability because that shit goes on everything. It's fucking garlic and any kind of meat. So he'll have that, and as we're getting ready, he'll use that for, I believe it's the Cat's Grace for being extra sneaky.
Dexterity. We have Arantus's wand still too, don't we? With Pass Without a Trace.
We do.
Which should be
So
fully
if
loaded.
we're all within, I think, 10 or 15 feet, we can, if we're all hiding together, we can cast that and add an extra 10. So I imagine there'll be some large tree or bush that we can all somehow squeeze in.
Yeah.
Richard, I have prepped this before. I haven't used it, but I have prepped it before. So I would like to actually use clairvoyance in this situation.
Okay.
And I would like to place the sensor. It is coming from the road, right? This thing. Or
It's coming from the main road and seem to be heading directly into the direction towards your house.
So I'm gonna cast it some distance. Like I'll go to where we're out of.
What's the range on it? Is it a mile?
On clairvoyance? Let me double check.
While he's double checking, I would like to retcon. Hunter has definitely built a tree house, says no squids allowed on the front, and it has turrets and anti-theft abilities and cloaking abilities.
Okay. Yeah, that seems like all legit.
And trebuchets.
Hunter, you have cloaking and you didn't tell me how to use that? You've been holding out on me.
Well, I thought you wouldn't get it.
You
What's
just
the
learned
trebuchets?
cursive last week.
Hey, the cues are tough, okay?
They are tough.
They're twos, aren't they?
Yeah, they're weird.
Yeah,
The
they're-
the
I don't
uppercase,
remember that.
the uppercase Q, yeah, is really weird.
I've been writing my cues
Yeah.
wrong.
Okay, yeah, it is within a mile, Richard. So I would like to cast clairvoyance. It's a casting time of 10 minutes, and it lasts 10 minutes. So I would like to cast it, like, just based off her judgment, essentially 10 minutes up the path from the house, so that we're alerted basically when it hits that, and we know we have 10 minutes till arrival, if you will.
Well, it lasts for 10 minutes, so unless you know when it's going to get to you.
Yeah, I guess I don't actually know that.
You don't know
You're
how
right.
long it's going to take to get to you.
In that case, how far to the main road?
I think it's a number of miles.
Okay, so I could not drop it on the main road.
No.
Then I will
it's
drop.
definitely way more than that.
Okay, well, if we know it's got some distance it's covering, then I'm gonna drop it at the edge of the mile radius, and just kind of take my chances, I guess.
Okay.
So at least we know when it's that far out.
Okay. Doing that, I would say, let me roll a D100.
Yeah, I know it's kind of.
Yeah. You do not detect anything during that time, during that 10-minute span.
I relay as much to the group that I don't detect anything yet, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't prepare.
You guys end up waiting a while. Perhaps it's because it's slow, perhaps because it's just kind of like looking all around, whatever it takes. But you get to the point where you're like, is this thing coming or not, or did it go a different direction? And just as you're at the point where you're like, all right, let's like have somebody like get up and look around. Is Andrew there?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
He cast invisibility.
Just around that time, you start feeling like maybe I should just get up. I would like everybody, for one, I need everybody to roll a group stealth. And then two, I'm going to need perception. Well, let's just do the group stealth first.
All right. Are we passing without trace?
Yeah,
Yep.
so add plus 10.
Okay.
Who did you give the Cat's Grace to? Yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Richard, this is disadvantage for me. So 20.
Okay.
All right, heavy armor 20s. Let's go.
Pocket 14s. So that's 25.
Don't
which
you
is
just love it when you...
mathematically correct?
Don't you just love it when you get something like Cat's Grace that gives you advantage and you just roll two of the same number? Like the dice are just like, fuck you get one number.
Listen, if it's 14, I'm okay with it.
Fair enough.
I mean, hey, it was cat's grace, right? That's much like a cat to just be obnoxious about it.
That's true. All right. So, getting through. All right, so I've got that, and now I need perception checks for anybody who's looking out.
Ooh, I get advantage on stealth. Never mind.
Anmore has his suit on. He's in the stealth mode currently. And he's got his helmet on, and it's doing like all the like analyzing path of rain, trying to see if there's any kind of abnormal movement, something like that.
Does your stealth mode
Okay.
do the like Splinter Cell green eye thing? Because that'd be super dope.
So
Just the bing.
yeah.
So you guys keep on waiting and waiting and waiting until eventually, like, even the mid-afternoon or rain has like stopped at this point. Like, it's starting to get. You've been waiting for a couple hours at least. Hey girl, I love you. I need you to go. I don't want that. At some point, Anwar's helmet finally like dings a ding ding ding, and it just kind of like outlines a little area, because even though it blends perfectly in with the forest, you can start to see like the predator just kind of like going through,
Oh.
kind of floating through, like grasping one tree, kind of scanning, going over, kind of floating over, pushing off as if pushing off the edge of a pool, going over and then grasping onto another tree and looking around. And so you've spotted this thing probably about 100 feet away from all the structures and stuff. Do you guys do anything, or you just kind of stay still waiting for it to do its thing?
Anwar is going to just, whoever's next to him, he's going to slowly double tap the shoulder, and then like with his hand just try and like point it out. So like not even saying anything, just like describing where you trying to point where it is. And Anwar is gonna say, like, flashback to an earlier part, when we see it, let it get right close to us, and that's when we strike.
All right. It's going to float around some more, kind of grasping from one thing to the other. It appears to kind of look over in the direction of the target dummies. And it's going to push out extra fast and wrap its legs all around one of them until the thing like snaps in half and breaks apart.
Still invisible while it does this?
Still camouflaged while it does this. It's not invisible, but it is camouflaged.
Okay.
In fact, even looking at it, it might seem kind of familiar to your Pass Without Trace. That's the kind of level of camouflage that it has. It's quite advanced.
Now, I gotta ask a couple questions.
Okay.
One, Tony, did Audra sneak some of Hunter's moonshine to make the dummies flammable?
No, I do not think the dummies would be flammable.
Okay, it would be like actual shot put things.
Yeah. It was more like
Yeah.
the skeet shooting, not flammable dummies.
Okay, my second question would have been, would Hunter have known? Okay,
Okay.
cool.
So it does that, kind of breaks it apart.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Like they are made of straw. If
No, it broke it apart pretty easily.
Sorry, if that's what you're asking, like as in can the dummies be lit aflame? Yes, they're made of straw.
Yeah, I know how straw works.
Yeah.
But in any case, it's then going to like feel out its multiple tentacles around the other ones, and then kind of lose interest and push off towards the house. It is going to at first kind of latch on to the new forge, kind of feel around, push off again, straight towards that front door to the house. And just as planned, starts to kind of like latch and starts putting its tentacles up all around the door frame and push inside, and you start to hear the like ding-a-ling-a-ling, and it's going to suddenly like start like spazzing out, and it is going to push back. So if you want to do anything, I'll give you a moment, but you can tell that it's starting to push back away from the house.
Can I fairy fire it?
Yeah. Yep, go ahead.
So yeah, the second it makes that noise,
it needs a, what do you call it? It needs
Dex
to do a dexterity saving throw.
is that all right with everyone? I want to make sure that we
absolutely.
Okay.
All right. It nat 20'd.
Oh,
You shoot out. Describe the flavor of what you're shooting out.
I imagine like Anwar has like a little grenade, like basically a glitter grenade launcher, and like right as it steps back, you know, we see it looking up, and then tink tink tink. We look down, and there's like that fairy fire grenade right at its feet, and it destroys. It blows up, but he's managed to like whiffed it off through the rain and everything.
Yeah, basically just like firing that off. It's like it's shooting it out already. Suddenly, like hyper aware. It must have heard it go like shoo, because it immediately like spins out of the way, all crazy. Like, have you seen what are they? Is it Edge of Tomorrow, the Tom Cruise movie with like the crazy aliens that spin all around like crazy?
Yeah.
That's basically what it's doing. Just like spinning all around, and suddenly it looks to you, and it gets out of its camouflage and turns like bright red. And like you see one giant eye just kind of open up from it, and all of the tentacles go out like in attack mode. I need initiative from everybody.
Oh well,
there is a Roll20 screen open, but I don't think it's gonna end up being as useful as I thought because it never actually made it inside. So let's just actually, you know what? Let's stick to this screen because this allows me to put a turn order up.
Is now a weird time to like reveal that I have a weird phobia of octopi?
Yes.
Inconvenient for you.
I'd like
I'm
to roll
sorry.
anything other than a 6.
I hate it so much.
What about them, if I may ask?
When I was really little, I went to an aquarium and I saw one and I was like, don't like that. And I avoided it. And then my dad's like, did you see this? I was like, yeah. He's like, no, you did not. And he held me over the tank.
No,
That it was
that's the
in.
worst way to do that.
And
Oh yeah, no, that is like the definition of a trauma right there.
childhood trauma.
Jeez.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
You guys
So here
might
we
get you guys might get a round off before it anyway because it rolled super low on its initiative. Did
Why did it-
awesome?
I couldn't get that on.
I
fairy
know.
fire.
I know. Well, at the very least, it's not camouflaged anymore because it shifted.
That's true. We take those.
Yep. Okay, so Hunter was 20. So for now, let's just try a theater of the mind it, because this would all be happening a bit further back from the actual screen. I'm just using this so I can put a turn order in. 17.
Fight music for a squid monster. Is there Edge of Killer music?
Not that
Sure.
we could do on stream, probably.
Yeah.
I was also thinking of like the squid things from the Matrix. You know the
Oh
like,
yeah, Sentinels.
scouts
Yeah, it's a little more chaotic than that, but yes, that is also a good thing to think of. All right, so Hunter, this thing is pushed off. It's maybe about 5 feet, maybe in front of the house at this point, as it's kind of like spun around, dodged the canister of things, which then like hit the house, and now the house is like the front of the house is now like glitter bombed. And I'd say all you guys, we'll just call it 30 feet away, just so you can get there in a round.
Oh, dear. I don't like that.
Hmm?
I don't like that.
Okay. Well, in any
Token
case,
is dope.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's just a random octo. I was originally planning this to be Theater of the Mind anyway, but there's a token for you if you want it to look like that. So, Hunter, what do you do? Right now, you're hidden. It doesn't see you. Technically, I think it would see Anwar, because Anwar, like, started shooting and revealed his location. But you are currently hidden, so you are stealthed, if that helps with your rogue stuff.
If I was an assassin, it would. Totally. You know what? I feel like the second Anwar alerted me to its presence, I've been kind of, like, tracking it. Getting a good beat on it, so I'm going to reflect that with using bonus action aim.
Okay.
And I'm going to, with that big ass eye that just opened up, I'm gonna try to drill it right in the eye.
All right.
And see what kind of damage I can do there. Oh, we're gonna roll at advantage. Does a 23 hit it in the eyeballs?
I say, unless it's a nat 20, I'm going to say it doesn't hit it in the eyeball, but it does hit it, like, in the main center of the body, gets a really good hit on it.
Sweet. Damage 4, sneak attack. Since it hasn't seen me, I'm going to assume that applies.
Oh, yeah,
Roll
especially because you
that.
had the bonus action aim anyway.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, because advantage.
Yep. All right,
Cool.
17.
So
That's a good solid hit to it. You notice, though, that when you hit it, you know you got a good body hit to it. It does not flinch. It does not express any kind of pain.
Cool. I'm gonna kind of like look over.
Doesn't mean you didn't do
Kamira.
damage. There is a arrow lodged in it, but flavor-wise, it is not showing any pain.
I kind of, I'm still tracking with the bow, but my eyes like flit over to Kamira with like this look of like, oh fuck, and then back to target.
When you do that, when you shoot that out, one of its tentacles is gonna rise up and like meet right, like same exact trajectory, and shoot right along like the exact trajectory of the arrow. A beam is gonna come right at you, straight back at you. A beam coming out of one of the tentacles. I would like you to please make. I would like you to please make a. Hold on, I gotta roll for this. I would like you to make a charisma saving throw, please.
Fuck.
Huh?
You got this. You got this.
Yeah, this charisma save 14. That fails. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
get
at
him to
this level,
re-roll it?
14 would fail.
Eddie.
You can't do pity for other people. You can only have them.
That other one, though.
You can only let them. You can only let them re-roll a nat 1.
Is it only a nat 1? Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. That's right. My bad. My bad. It's
Yep.
been a
And I
minute.
don't
All the
have
rest of
I
the
must
pity
have
is for
used-
you.
I guess
All
I
right,
must have used my
so-
inspiration, because that's gone.
So right now, you were just immediately hit with this like feeling of aversion that like this thing just creeps you out. You like don't even want to look at it. So you currently now have disadvantage on all attacks for the next minute, but you can have a chance to re-roll your save every turn.
That's good.
So at least for now, you have disadvantage on all of your attacks. Next up is Kamira.
I'm gonna send Echo Kamira after it.
All right, you can get it 15 feet, and I guess it can go the rest of its... Oh, wait, sorry. No, you can do 30 feet for that.
Yeah, it summons
Yep.
at 15, but I can send her out to 30.
Okay, yep. So, yeah, you send her out to 30 feet. Echo is going off that way. Can head straight towards it.
And she's gonna attack it twice because I can do 2 attacks with an attack
Yep.
action.
You sure can.
Wee. Hello?
Hello?
Uh-oh.
It's not rolling for you?
Let's try that again. There it goes.
There we go.
All right, going forward, that is a... What is it? That's a 15 and a 20?
Yeah, 15, yeah. So
First
one of
one just barely misses as it's kind of spinning out of control, but that second one, you get a swipe on its on one of its tentacles.
Oh god, almost did D20 again. D10 plus 4. Okay, ooh. And then
max damage, nice.
I
You
want
get a
to
nice good cut on that tentacle.
unleash incarnation and have her attack again.
All right. That's a hit.
Hey! Y'all, 10 plus, oh god, what was it? Plus 4. Fuck yeah.
Damn, you got some good hits on that. Looking at its overall health, I am going to say that, yeah, after that slice you get in there, and then, like, invocation, or whatever it's called. What's it called again?
Unleash incarnation.
Unleash Incarnation, okay. Yeah,
Close.
I mean, you just strike with such force that you, like, cut it through, and then you, like, spin the blade around and go through, and, like, you kind of, like, underhand cut it again, and that tentacle gets cut off.
Ooh.
And then... actually, you know what? Kamira's not gonna move yet. Kamira's not gonna move right yet.
Okay. Instead of what it was going to do, there's a tentacle that is flailing around on the ground. All right. Aghanazar.
Aghanazar is going to leap from whatever spot they're currently hiding in, and he's going to go up about halfway. So he will be, we'll say, here, about 10 feet away, behind the echo. So not, or I guess he'll be on the other side of the echo. So, and then he'll begin charging up his lightning launcher. Now, before it was able to make 2 kind of shoddy attacks, but now, given some time, he's able to modulate the batteries, calibrate his settings. He got the Wi-Fi password. His lightning launcher. Now, watch me miss. His lightning launcher is up to full capacity, and he's going to take 2 shots.
All right.
Mm-hmm. 18 to hit.
That's a hit.
And
25 yeah.
hit.
Yep.
And on the first one, he gets an extra d6 of lightning damage, which is another 3. So
a total of 18 damage.
18 lightning damage, just like little arcs of lightning emit from his chest and hit his writhing tentacles, moving all around.
Go ahead and roll a perception for me, just as a bonus to see if your helmet picks something up.
24.
You notice a spark fly out of, like, that cut part of the tentacle. There's like a just kind of like a almost like a fuse like shot out from its from that arm. Let me just make sure that I enter this into its health bar.
With my background in engineering, do I believe that it might be automaton? Mechanical? Or like a being of pure energy?
You can make an intelligence as a free action real quick if you'd like to do that.
Oh man, I'm on fire tonight. Knock
You
on
are
wood.
on fire with all the mental stuff. You suddenly get a sense of like this thing that might not be like living. This might be a construct. This is like suddenly giving you vibes of like the aberrant tech that you've like meddled with before.
Oh. Anwar was saying, guys, I think it's a machine.
All right, and that's the end of your turn. Oh, actually, it's gonna after getting hit all that and blasted out, it is gonna be freaking pissed and take one of its things out and shoot at you. So a beam is gonna go out your way. I need you to please make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. 14.
That is not enough. You, while you begin to understand it, you also, like, your understanding leads you to fear it more. Like, this might be really advanced tech that could fuck you up. And, like, things are happening so fast that, like, yeah, you guys are, like, getting an upper hand right now, but, like, it could turn on you and, like, really fuck you up if you're not on guard. So you are now frightened of it for the next minute. Again, like Andrew, you can repeat the saving throw at the end of your next turn. But until then, you are frightened of this thing.
That means disadvantage on attacks, right?
It does. You can't get closer to it, and I believe it does cause disadvantage as well. Which is technically different than Hunter's, where if there were other things in the battle, he right now has disadvantage on everything. But effectively, yeah, just everybody has disadvantage on this right now. All you two do. All right, Audra.
All right. It hasn't moved any closer to us, right? Because it hasn't taken its turn.
Hasn't taken its turn yet. Yep.
Okay. I am not going to approach it. I will let it approach. She's learned that lesson enough times. So I'm going to cast Beacon of Hope. Seeing both Hunter and Anwar freak out a little bit, and feeling like people maybe need a little more like courage in resisting whatever that is. Yeah, she's gonna cast Beacon of Hope. So 30 foot radius around me, 1 minute concentration. But all of everybody will have advantage on wisdom saving throws while that is up.
Okay.
And also, should this go really south, also advantage on death saves if it goes that way.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is also that thing that lets me give like max healing to people. But I don't think we need to do that just yet. But either way, that is up in a 30-foot aura around me, which should take care of everybody who needs it.
Okay. So is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I can't really do any bonus actions after that one. Nothing
Okay.
fits.
It has now. All of you have done an action that reveals your position in some way. So I just need to see. Okay. So, first thing it's gonna do is like spin all around, almost like a whirlwind attack thing, and try to get this echo creature off of it. So, what's the AC on that again? 17?
Yep.
It rolled a nat 17, so that will hit it, which will take it away, and then it is going to shoot straight towards Audra.
Okay.
I guess the like the beam of your sword just like lights up, and it's just like, get in that.
Yeah, it's radiating like holy energy. So yes.
Yeah. So it is going to go over to you, and it is going to try to like wrap you around with its tentacles and like envelop you in it. So let's see, what's your AC?
19.
It got a nat 20.
Can I do protection on that and make it a disadvantage, please?
You can. Yep. If you are standing next to Audra, you absolutely can. It has to roll again.
Appreciate it.
Got a nat 18 this time.
All right.
So that's what's your
19.
thing again? Okay, yeah. So it still gets you.
Ain't a crit.
It's not a critical. You
Hold
are
on,
able to kind of nudge it.
Sorry, I thought you said it got an 18.
18, a nat 18, but
Yeah.
plus bonuses. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Sorry.
definitely it's higher than 20.
Gotcha. Well, it saves me the crit. Thank you.
Yes, it does save you the crit because, yeah, Kamira, you're able to kind of wedge it off a bit, but it still latches on. I need you to make a strength saving throw, please, to see if you are grappled by this thing or not.
Okay. Strength saving throw. I cannot roll tonight. I have not rolled double digits.
Hopefully that changes. Because right now you are wrapped up.
Yeah.
And you are restrained until you are ungrappled by this.
Okay.
And its suckers start to like get on you, and one of it like wraps around your head, and it is going to do. Hold on, let me see here.
How many things now have beelined for the cleric?
I rolled a d4 to see where it would go.
I mean, it makes sense. She is like the tall one who's like, everybody be safe under my umbrella. So, yeah. It's just funny.
Gotta burn the umbrella.
I'm just seeing if I don't have anything like extra I could do.
That is 25 psychic damage to you as it wraps all around, and you can just like feel your mind just start to freaking lose it. And so it's wrapping around and is trying to get, like, it's got some tentacles wrapped up around your head, and you can see it's starting to move its body to the point where, like, it gets the beak and, like, the whole center of the body more over your head area. It would have been able to do that with the beak had Kamira not, like, knocked off the main part of it, but the tentacles of it still, like, latched onto you. So that's probably concerning.
Well, it does that, and then the aura that was around her flashes and disappears, because I do not maintain that.
Oh.
I needed a 12.
Oof.
Oh, wait, hold on. I have a point of inspiration. Let's just use it.
Okay, I hope it works for your sake.
Let's see. I mean, if not, it is what it is.
Let me tell you about using an inspiration and only rolling a 1.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about that.
All right, okay.
Hey!
All right.
You just barely got what you needed.
So the light,
you maintain your concentration.
It, like, flickers. It's, like, clearly, like, the aura is, like, flickering around her for a moment as she's definitely, like, psychic damage is not as common, so she's definitely just, like, like, feeling that pain for sure.
Hunter, you're probably, what, like, 10, 15 feet away, whatever, like, because we never exactly established exactly where you are, but from the beginning where you all were staying, are you 5 feet away, 10 feet away, wherever you are?
I was thinking I'd be in a tree above, but at the same time, Anwar, like, gave me the heads up and adjusted my aim, so I guess maybe I'd be 5 to 10 feet off to their left.
Okay, so yeah, so let's just say you're like 10 feet off to the left of Audra. This thing is wrapped all around Audra at this point, and you can feel that Audra is like feeling some kind of psychic pull from this thing. You're not sure if it's physical or what it is, but like you can tell Audra's in trouble. So what do you do?
First, I'd like to roll that charisma roll to see if I can.
It's at the end of this turn.
Oh, the end.
Yes.
That's dumb, and I don't like that.
Oh, well.
Does
I
that
say it's
change
not dumb because it
anything?
even hasn't had a chance to affect you. You've already rolled to save once. It doesn't make sense to roll again before
Does
your turn
it-
starts.
Yeah, does that change anything, though? Like the fact that I don't like it?
Nope. So,
There's no complaint bonus.
you can bonus action
Oh.
aim to negate your disadvantage, but
I will.
okay.
I can't move closer. God, I'm shooting. Okay, that's fine.
You were shooting an arrow towards a thing that is on Audra, but if you want to do that, you
Basically-
can. You're just
Basically trying to shoot Audra.
lots to unpack there.
I just yell, "Hey, Audra, no hard feelings!" And I'm gonna bonus action aim. Let her rip, as they say.
I actually have the perfect gift for this.
18 will hit.
Fantastic.
It's a good thing that 18 was the first roll.
Nice.
Let's see some damage.
Oh, right. I was looking at the Dragon Ball thing. Boom, and within the 5 feet, so sneak attack counts.
Technically, yes,
5?
it is within 5 feet of a number of your allies.
5.
So total of 13 damage. You shoot another thing into it, and once again, you see that it goes in. And I should have said the same thing. Even when it got a limb cut off, like it kind of like flailed that arm, but it's not like screaming in pain or anything.
It has no nerves to have damage.
Quite possibly. So yeah, you get it for more damage, and it is going to like it's kind of wrapped around, but it's gonna like aim one of its things like just to pew pew you. And
Suddenly getting Octodad vibes for some reason. Just this weird like. pew pew.
Going to the grocery store.
I now need you to make a dexterity saving throw, which you should be pretty darn good at. You save. You
Oh my
freaking
God.
Yeah, I
Fudge
do,
out of that.
obviously.
Yep. And you can go ahead and make your charisma saving throw as well. Yeah. All right. You snap out of it. You're back in the game. Good to go.
I think as that like thing flies over my I kind of duck my shoulder where my head would have been.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, this thing's gonna die. Let's do this. And I rally forth.
All right. Kamira, this thing's like right next to you, but hey, you've got that pack tactic thing now. If you're within 5 feet,
I
you get advantage on
technically-
your attacks.
I technically have pack tactics because she's not incapacitated yet.
Yep.
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna bonus action Hunter's Mark this beastie.
Okay.
And we're going to do an attack. So here's the first. Ayo, 20.
Oh yeah, it definitely hits.
Here's the second. Ayo again.
Definitely hits.
Do I want to action surge?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
You're right, I do. Nice. And plus, oh, and that's 3d6 for each of them.
Yeah, because
Hunter's Mark.
wait. Oh, you already Hunter's marked it. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Oh wait, then I cannot action surge.
No, you can. Yeah,
Oh, I
action
can. That's
surge-
not a bonus. No, it's
No,
not.
that's just a thing
Hey.
you get as a fighter.
God,
you just-
fighters can just do shit, and sometimes I think, wow,
Yeah.
how unfair, and then I'm like, that's me. Great,
I mean, there's a ton of magic you can't do and other stuff like that is what fighters do. Is they fight. They fight well.
33, 34.
34. Alrighty. So, yeah. You're kind of like Luke Skywalker at the end of his battle with Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi, where you're like, "Ugh, ugh," and then finally in the last blow, you cut off a tentacle. Which, once again, for the second turn in a row, you are able to keep it from doing a legendary action against you. 34 damage. That's really good. And this thing's now down 2 out of its 8 tentacles. And you've also got a couple good body blows to it. Yeah, it's showing some major signs of weakness. Don't necessarily equate that, 2 out of 8 tentacles down means like it's only a quarter health down. Like it's taken some body blows too.
Okay.
But yeah, all right. So you are good on all that. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Aganazar, you're kind of the farthest off to the left.
All right. So the squid machine is still currently grappling Audra. Is that correct?
Still on Audra. Yep, was not able to get him off, but did lose a tentacle.
All right. So I googled this, and I think this is how this works. But I'll let you decide.
Okay.
The grappling or the creature is currently grappling over Audra and like attacking her, but Anwar has lightning lore, which creates a rope of light and energy and can pull any creature closer to Anwar and shock them if it gets within 10 feet.
Okay.
Now, I looked at this and I think the wording is correct, but I'll let you decide. It says a grapple ends if a creature is forced to move away. So I think I can just lasso this thing, and Anwar is going to be terrified.
Shit. Can you link to where it's... Or did you already link to where it says that?
I just put it in there.
I've never seen this before. That's really interesting.
So, like, a thunder wave, I think, would break up the grapple as well. But this basically just, like, lassos this thing and rips it right off.
Does it need to make a saving throw?
It does need to make a strength saving throw, but I wanted to verify that would work first.
I'll allow it, because that's pretty awesome, and that seems like... If that's the rule, then that's the rule, so...
I like it.
So yeah, let's see.
So Anwar is afraid of this, the possibilities of what this machine creature could be, but it seems that it's time to hone and work on his skills. He's brave enough to try and see that Audra's in danger. He's gonna try and help her. So
what is the DC on that?
It is a strength saving throw, and it is DC 15.
Okay. It fails. So you're able to wrap around that thing. It's like light, just like wraps all around like the base head part and like wraps around its like eye part too. And it's like kind of blinking, just like, ah! I guess it doesn't scream out in pain, but you definitely see the eyes start to like flinch. That's the first time you've ever seen it really flinch. And you were able to pull it off. And you deal 14 damage to it.
14 lightning damage. As like I picture it like Wonder Woman's lasso of truth, that like glowing light with like, you know, Super Saiyan 2 lightning kind of emitting off of it, and he just pulls it off like this big cattle basically. And it's pulled 10 feet towards me, so it should be probably right next to me.
Very nice. And because it was a saving, okay, it goes next to you. So because it, again, this is not an accurate reading, but we'll just put it there just so we remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it gets pulled over to you, which like when that happens, it gets pulled towards you, but then you just see all of its tentacles that were pulled that way kind of like spin around, and they like start to envelop you and start to get around your face. Is going to try to, as its legendary action, is going to try to grapple you as you pull it towards it, and all those tentacles are going to start trying to wrap around you. But it will fail. You, with all your armor, it can't get quite a good. Or do you have your shield up or whatever?
Shield, yeah.
Yeah. So it like tries to go over, but you're able to like keep it back. But it's trying. It's like its tentacles are reaching from around the shield, trying to get at your face, and it's like it is touching your helmet, but like your helmet's giving you some cover, so it's not actually getting to you. But man, it's trying. It is fucking furious that you did that. All right, so that is your turn, and Audra, this thing is now trying to get Aghanazar. It's finally off of you. What are you gonna do?
All right. Well, I need to patch myself up, first of all.
Okay.
So a level 2 cure wounds for me, because of the spell, it's just automatic 19 HP back. And then, what's the distance between me and Anwar?
It's like 10 feet.
Okay. I'm going to... This is action to use that spell, and most of my bonus actions are based off of doing other things than that. So I think... I'm just going to have to patch myself up for now, and then I'll go on the offensive next round. Because I don't really... I can't do anything bonus action-y right now that would help.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this thing kind of wrapping all around the shield, it is going to try to shoot a beam out of one of its tentacles. It's like kind of pointing up from above the thing, and okay. Oh, I've done that one already. All right. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw as it beams and hits you like right in the face, and you can feel this energy going through you. Do you have the fortitude to withstand it?
All right.
Today. It's unfortunate. This is one of my good ones.
Not this day. It just maybe just because it's so close and so powerful, it shoots you, and you are stunned, like you were just kind of frozen. And I believe now it has advantage on. So you are stunned.
Right
Again, you can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns.
Incapacitated, so yeah.
Does that mean it's an auto crit?
Let me double check.
Not when it's against players. Not when it's against players, but
I don't
like
think that's how that works.
When I'm
It's called the double
incapacitated,
standard rule.
I can't take actions or reactions.
But that's all. It doesn't have anything to do with. Okay.
There's no crit.
So
But that is incapacitated, technically. Which is
Mhm.
rad.
okay. What's your AC right now?
20.
Okay. So it stunned you, and for a second you kind of tense up, and the shield kind of like gets kind of locked into place, and it just starts like clawing all around you at this point. Can you make a saving throw? I guess it says it doesn't say you can't make a saving throw.
It depends on which
So-
one.
Strength. 'Cause we need to
I
see if it's
automatically fail
grappling you.
strength ones.
Okay, so it wraps all around you. It is grappled you. You are now restrained as well as incapacitated. Everything. You're stunned. You're restrained. All sorts of stuff. And it starts to wrap all around you. You can feel its tentacles kind of sliding all like in the spots, like in between the helmet and the rest of the armor and other spots. It finds some soft spots to like latch its little suckers into, and is going to deal psychic damage to you.
I imagine that Anwar's interface, the Sentinel program that I got from the Soulforge, like the little Netflix notification appears. It's like, "Are you still fighting?" Question mark. It's like,
Okay, that is going to be 29 psychic damage.
Ah.
Goes through you. Your mind, as strong as it is, just like, ugh, and it's like you're stunned. Your brain's starting to turn to mush. It just everything is going really bad for you right now. Hunter, this is all happening within like roughly 5 to 10 feet next to you. What do you do here? Anwar's looking in trouble.
Well, now that I'm not afraid anymore, I'm going to switch over. I'm going to draw my beer out, and I'm going to bonus action Roguish Smite,
Ooh,
and then
I love it.
step like right in, and
Uh-huh.
kind of like eeny, meeny, miny, and get as just deep in there.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, I don't know if I get a. I don't get advantage, right? Just a regular.
If he's incapacitated, then I don't think you get the advantage or the sneak attack then.
I don't get sneak attack.
But you do get the Roguish Smite.
Why would you get advantage?
Why wouldn't I?
No, why would
why
you
would
have
you?
advantage into being with?
You don't have pack tactics.
I mean, because it's busy. It's like
Oh,
wrapped
nah.
around. I mean, you get. Oh, I
Is
would
the
get.
thing a bonus to
I
use?
would get sneak attack. Okay, I don't have advantage, but I would get sneak attack still for having an ally within 5 feet.
But he's incapacitated. I don't know if it counts if they're incapacitated.
It doesn't.
I'm going to hold my attack action then, and yell, Cammy, Audra, get in tight on it.
Alrighty. So you did your bonus action, holding your action, waiting for the trigger will be somebody gets within 5 feet of this thing.
Mhm.
All right. In that case, Kamira.
I'm just gonna leave.
Get within 5 feet of this thing. I'm fucking going the other direction. Are you kidding me? Look at this thing.
I tried. Good day.
Getting 5 feet away from hell out of here.
I'm throwing the echo up there as I charge forward. And we're just gonna like, boop.
All right, so as you do that and start to circle around, I will allow you both to make a simultaneous attack.
Yeah!
To see if you can do an awesome, like, 2 times coup de grace thing. Yeah, I'm gonna do a
18 on mine.
Oh,
Fuck.
actually,
That doesn't hit.
Kamira, the first one doesn't hit, but you got an extra attack, so you can see if the second one hits.
Yes, I do.
She do.
Hey, look.
Ooh.
Whoa.
So this is the first time ever both of you get to describe how you kill this thing, because there's no way it's gonna survive a crit from Kamira. But let's see that damage. Let's see Kamira roll that crit damage as well as Hunter rolling that roguish smite.
2, 3, 6 plus 4. Whee! Oh, that wasn't great. That's okay though.
That's
23.
still really good.
For
23.
one hit, that's pretty good.
23 plus, so that's 33 sneak attack, so 48, 57 damage. Yeah, both of you describe how you, when you gang up on this thing and both of you strike, how do you kill it as it's wrapped around Anwar.
Shit, I forgot about that part.
I've got an idea.
Hit me, yeah.
So I think all 3 blades kind of converge in stabbing motions into like similar spots, maybe like opposite ends of the same spot. They dig in and like stab together, and just this like necrotic energy kind of like spews out, and then as the metal hits from the 3 swords, there is like just this kind of lightning flash pattern black that like stains Kamira's blade, and the same exact pattern but in white against the Shadow's white blade stains, so it's like this electric connection reaction almost, as this thing like decays and sizzles from the inside.
Yeah, so basically, within this thing that Anwar has seen before, it is a construct that is, it's kind of like the Terminator. There is some amount of living tissue in there as like part of its like brain fluid stuff that like helps it operate, and all of that just like has that necrotic energy going through it, and the whole thing just turns into like this oily, gooky, black tarness. And yeah, all of that happens, just kind of like spills out and everything else, and everything you said happens. And then it just kind of like, its tight grip on Anwar just loosens and it falls, just crashes down onto the ground. And that is it. We are out of combat.
Audra is going to move right over Anwar and give you the same cure wound she gave herself, so that's an automatic 19 HP back to you.
I'm so happy I didn't take my suit out in the rain today. I wouldn't want it to get dirty. Thank you, Audra.
And when it falls down, it just like clunk like a big heavy robot.
Yeah, like a robot.
Hunter kind of like flicks the gook off his blade and sheathes it, and kind of like unbuttons a couple buttons and just kind of like, all right. That was wild, y'all. Doing that one again? One more again?
I hope not ever. How many did he say were coming? It was just releasing them into the trees?
Yeah, he described like every few miles it looked like. He only saw it happen a couple times, so he doesn't know exactly how many times there's been. But when they like all shot out in different directions, he described it as kind of like tendrils, like
Can I
Like
tell you,
as
I'm
if-
like when it does that, I'm imagining those worms that like send out that, I don't know, just that mess of like feeler stuff that like creeps around rocks. I'll have to find the picture of it.
Oh
It's
yeah, that's
fucking
Don't find the
horrifying.
yeah,
picture
that's
of
really
that.
weird.
You know, you did
Yep.
this. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's
the
it's throwing up
worst.
its stomach to digest things.
Right.
Yeah.
Ah!
Hold on. I'll find this for you, Richard. Carry
Don't
on.
find that thing for us, Richard.
All right. So what do you all do now?
Anwar's gonna hit the little thing so his helmet gets flipped back, but I imagine that there's like as it flicks sludge off behind him.
Foley. Good Foley.
And he's gonna move to kind of flip this thing over and see what the heck this thing is. Is it
For those,
organic, synthetic, or what?
yeah. So for those of you, Audra and Anwar, who have taken the psychic damage, you still have like a splitting headache, because this is not fully healed for either of you at this
Yeah.
point. Like it was really bad, but now it's just like you're hungover, just like
Yeah.
ugh.
She'll kind of be cradling it a little bit and just like, I need to go lie down. I think. I don't know what this is, and I don't think I have the knowledge to determine that anyways. If you'll excuse me, and she's gonna go like plop down across the couch, just like,
Okay.
just like you know, not necessarily like napping, but just like definitely needing to just like chill.
Yeah. So Anwar, make an investigation roll if you would like to.
I'll do what I can. Is it at disadvantage or anything?
No, you just have a headache for flavor. It's not gonna give any status ailments. Oh shit! There's that nat 20. Looking through this,
You know
thing,
when you have something that completely clears out your sinuses? It's like that for my brain right now.
So looking through this, it immediately looks very familiar to you. The technology that's used for that is very similar to the tech used for those like sentry post things, those sentinels that you made your armor out of. As you're opening up and looking at everything, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see how this works and everything. It's definitely a construct. And a lot of it you can kind of tell how it works. You can like see some of its tentacles and like see how kind of the rays go, and you might even be able to adapt it at some point. It might take you a while, but you might be able to adapt those into weapons even. But with that nat 20, I gotta give you this. Looking through everything, you see something that like you can tell is radiating some kind of energy, to the point that you can deduce that it seems like it may be emitting something, perhaps a signal or something like that.
How strongly does Anwar feel that a signal is being emitted?
Pretty with that 20, you're like, it's a strong suspicion that you have it. Like you've not seen tech like that before, something that's emitting a signal, but you can detect that it's I don't know exactly how you would want to flavor it as an artificer, but whether it's like emitting some kind of radiation or radio wave or whatever, there's something that like even within your helmet is picking up on some of the interference or whatever, and you get the sense that it is somehow like broadcasting what it found. Also with that investigation, just piecing it together, you'd think like scouts are supposed to move quick. Like if this thing were in trouble, it's supposed to get away and report back, but it's really slow as far as like how it floats, so it doesn't seem like it's meant to be able to do that. So if it can't relay information by going back really quick, perhaps that is another way of sending information. So that and what you're seeing on the actual mechanics of it together gives you a strong suspicion that this thing is like sending information back magically remotely.
Do I think it's sending back like thoughts or images or things like that, or just its location?
With a nat 20, how much do I want to give? It is probably transmitting some kind of data. It's hard to tell if that's location or whatever. Like the technology is like way beyond a normal person's understanding. But the closest thing you could compare it to is, as an artificer, I think one of the things you're technically able to do, even though you haven't done it, is create sending stones. And and it would be kind of a similar magic to that if you were to kind of, reverse engineer that. So it seems like it could be sending some kind of information, but it's hard to determine exactly what, given the alien nature of the technology. But you got the broad picture of what it seems to be doing.
I'll relay that to everyone that's there. This thing is talking to other things. I don't know if it can exactly transmit information, but do I feel that I should destroy it here, or that I should travel somewhere else and destroy it in case that it's like it sends a beacon where its last known location was?
Sydney seems to have strong feelings if she weren't muted. What are you saying?
I think she's saying take it
Travel
anywhere
somewhere
else.
else.
All right. I think
We just got
I
this
think-
house. Pardon me. We just got you this house for your parents. I don't want to see it burn down immediately.
Okay. Let's load up the cart and let's move this a couple miles, maybe more than a couple miles, north of here. Or let's see, Inga's south. The other base is north. Let's just drop it west at the edge of the woods, as far away from here as we can reasonably get, and then we'll destroy it.
God, I can't look at these videos.
Or if we could, how long would it take us to get back to the river?
Not a full day. You definitely. Let's see if I can find a more close-up map. What would that be? Another 10 to 15 miles to get back to the river, so you're talking like half a day journey.
If we can, anything, if it's left here in the woods, it'll point things to the woods. I would say, if we can, put it on the river and send it far from here. Hunter, can we use your cart? Can we move it?
Abso-friggin-lutely. Yeah, let's get it far away from here. I got a barrel I've been storing for like drinking water, but if we load the thing up in it and seal it off and then send it down the river, like,
It'll get even farther away from us.
yeah.
We should do that. We should do that as soon as possible.
All right.
Yeah, so I guess Anwar's gonna make preparations to do that.
Same. I'm feeding. What did we name them? Biscuit and Daisy? Or was that the first
what
one?
was
Daisy was one of the first ones, I think.
Second one.
Biscuit was one of them, right?
Biscuit,
Came up with like a couple of cute ones this round.
Biscuit and Bonnie. Biscuit.
How about biscuit and gravy?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm getting biscuit and gravy like as I'm getting them fed with like some high sugar snacks, things that are gonna get them real amped up for the ride out. So hopefully they work real hard for us.
All right. Yeah, I guess at some point too, you're on where your parents would come out and just start asking a bunch of questions. What is going on here? What is all of this?
A scout of some kind, construct, same tech that I used. It stumbled on here. We got it, but I think it's sending a beacon of some kind, so we're moving
Is
it
it
elsewhere.
safe to be here anymore?
I don't really know. Dad, if you could, you should come with Hunter and I. We're going to float this down the river, but whatever knowledge we can glean from it on the way there, maybe we could use it. Maybe we could reverse engineer it like we did the other things.
Sure, I suppose. I see here's he just like picks up one of the loose tentacles off the ground. Are we taking all of it to the river?
Maybe it's best we do.
Please stop wiggling it like that.
I found 2.
Oh God, don't do that. No.
Dad, you're embarrassing me.
Alrighty. Okay, I will go with you. Anwar's mom is gonna just check in on Audra. Are you okay? Do you need anything? Can I make you some tea?
Sure. I'll take that. Thank you.
Okay.
I've been
I'll
hurt
make you-
before, but that was different.
Okay, I will make you some charcoal tea. I swear it is good. Yeah.
Do you have anything leaf-based?
Go with the charcoal. It's great for hangovers.
Do you have anything leaf-based?
Yes, there's I think there's some mushroom tea around here. Does that work? Not exactly a plant, technically, but
I prefer it to the charcoal. No offense.
oh, suit yourself. It works great for us, Shirazi. And she'll go over and make some mushroom tea for you.
And Audra will eventually just, like, get herself up from the couch and just, like, reconvene with the others to get the plan, just so she's on the same page.
Oh, I'll take a dose of that there charcoal tea. Little to-go cup.
Okay.
Don't mind.
And she'll make some charcoal tea as well.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so she does all that. You guys kind of get everything squared away, and you pack up the wagon, and I guess you head off. During this time along the way, I guess you'll be inspecting things, and your father will say, I think maybe if this beacon that you suspect is a part of the main body, then perhaps we can dissect these other tentacles and make something out of them. If they've got weapons in them, maybe we can use those weapons.
Oh, it definitely has weapons in them. I can confirm that.
Well, I mean, if you want, it might take me some time, but if we leave these at the shop, then I am feeling a little more confident that we can take these without risking ourselves any more than we are already risking ourselves.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Do we
Is it worth-
sever all the tentacles?
Is it worth trying identify on those?
Sure. Yeah, you could do that.
I don't have it anymore, but I believe Anwar does.
I don't have it prepared today.
Okay. I don't have access to it anymore.
Would a level 1 artificer have that by any chance, or is that a higher level thing?
It's a first level spell. So
I thought it was a second level.
It might
check.
be.
But I no longer have access to it because it was on my old cleric
Identify
path.
as a first level ritual.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so I will roll a d4. Odds are he has it prepared. Evens is he does not have it prepared. But there's a chance as a level 1 artificer he may. Odds, he has it prepared.
Cool.
Nice.
Go, Dad.
So he will start to identify one of the tentacles that was already cut off, and so that would be one of the ones that did not get used. He identifies one of these as a psychic ray, an ability to shoot out a psychic ray, which causes somebody to make an intelligence saving throw. Otherwise, they take a significant amount of psychic damage.
Yeah, can confirm.
I feel like these guys, they're like building beholders or something.
Oh. No.
If Anwar's father is going to look at the tentacles, and if we've removed those, then whoever wants to go in the cart to dump this thing can go, but he can check that out so he's not in danger.
I'll go with.
Okay.
I'll stay back. That way, I guess we have muscle on both ends, sort of.
Okay. Going out there as you get closer to the river, looking around, I take it you go to a less populated part of the river.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
Don't
make
mind us. Just
anybody who's
drop
going out towards the river, make a perception check and perhaps a stealth check too, just to be safe.
Perception. And staff. Ugh. Oh, I do get advantage with, well, not with the cart, I guess.
Perception.
Whoa.
Oh.
Hey. Watch me flub this stealth though, boy. Because it's at disadvantage. Do 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 do.
Oh, I didn't realize the whole party was going. I thought we were splitting.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Okay.
Well,
So
I was just saying we don't all have to go.
gotcha.
But if anybody wanted to go, you certainly had room in the cart for anybody who wanted to go.
Okay. I guess she'll probably stay behind with her tea still then.
Yeah, still nursing that hangover. All right, so Kamira,
Yes.
with that nat 20, all of you are kind of looking out. You kind of go out there. It looks like not much is going on. You're at a spot where the other side is pretty much farmland. You're not really seeing any empirical presence. There don't seem to be any ships coming from either end either. Things seem kind of dead and locked down. But as you look around with that nat 20, you spot from across the way on a farm, you see, like, you know, the grumpy hobbit from like the beginning where he's just like, I don't like all the stuff the kids like. You just see like this grumpy looking halfling guy who's just kind of tilling his land or whatever. And he looks across, he's just like, and he notices there's like a group of people on the other side, and he's not sure what that's about. And he just kind of, I guess, I don't know, from across the sorry, that's like miles. There's no way you'd see that.
My elf eyes, though. My elf eyes.
Your elf eyes. Let's say he's a fisherman instead of being out there. He's like got a little like tugboat, or not a tugboat, just like a little rowboat thing. He's got some fish, and he's just out fishing. And he looks over at you, just kind of inquisitively, like, what are those people doing out there? But that's like he's just giving you kind of a stink eye and kind of confused. He's just kind of a halfling on he's a halfling on a dinky boat in the middle of nowhere.
We need to kill the halfling, and then we need to dispose both of the bodies. Let's go.
Well, hold up.
I
What if we
fire my
talk
rocket
over it?
launcher at the little boat.
No, y'all. All right. No, let's talk.
I drink
We
his
don't
blood.
need to talk. We just need to be a little bit discreet with this, is all.
Now, with when I say talk, I don't mean say the words that make the magic shoot.
It's basically like you guys have gone out and like are getting ready to dump a body in the river.
Yes, and
he's
there's
just
somebody on a boat that's just like, hello.
Like,
Hey, y'all dumping bodies over there.
Yeah. What of it?
I will fetch a rug.
I'll wave
Okay.
friendly-ishly.
Give me a general charisma check.
General.
If you'd like to
General
add a skill
charisma.
to it, let me know what you're trying to do. Otherwise, just a flat charisma.
I mean,
roll's
I
fine.
can't.
It's a gift.
I don't think I can argue for persuasion.
I guess you could do performance if you're trying to be real cheery
going-
or whatever.
I'm going to use deception in that I'm acting casual in an uncasual situation.
All right, I'll give that to you. That's fair. You just play it cool. Hey, and he'll just be like, he's just gonna
Word.
kind of go back to fishing, but every once in a while just kind of looking over at you guys, like, what are they doing here?
Do I have?
Can we make it like a show of washing biscuits and gravy in the river, and then just very fucking discreetly just dispose of the shit like behind their massive bison bodies?
Well, what I'm gonna
Yak,
do
yak.
is we'll push the barrel in, and then I'll take my fishing tackle and also start fishing. So as it like flows down the river, I'm like
Oh,
trying to
using
catch
that as
fish.
like a frickin'. Yeah, that'd be a great fishing scenario. Attaching a little frickin' net to that and just following it for a minute and then hauling it in. Anyway, that's not a bad idea either.
If you want to do that, you can go ahead and do that. I guess it's like sleight of hand or something to see if you can.
I mean,
My idea
I'm just
is we all
fishing-
strip down and we
Mhm.
pretend we're bathing, and then we shame him when he looks at us, and then he turns away, and then we're like, throw the barrel in now.
Counterpoint. What if it's his kink? And
Shame
he
him with
doesn't look
nudity.
away?
That's true. What if he's just looking more?
Well, then we're all naughty, and we all have a secret, don't we?
And I sink his boat.
All right, so we have nudity plan and we have like throwing a net, playing it casual plan. What are we going with?
Well, I mean,
I like both.
the
You
fishing,
can do both.
the fishing
Nude
tackle.
fishing.
Nude fish. Oh.
Yeah, I mean the fishing tackle has like line and bobbers and stuff, so I assume it's more like what the dude is actually using.
Mm.
Although I guess there is some thin netting too.
I still think it'd be some kind of sleight of hand to like hide the fact that you were throwing in
Oh no, I'm
essentially
not
a
hiding.
dead body in there.
I'm not hiding. We're pushing a barrel. We're pushing a barrel out, and then like casting the line in.
Oh, I see what you're saying now. Okay.
I'm trying to make it look like it's for a purpose.
Okay, fair enough. And you've already rolled really well with your deception of playing it casual, so I'll just let you keep that. So yeah, if you want to do that, that is what you do.
Do I catch any fish?
Now that is a survival check.
Oh hell yeah!
I thought that was gonna be like the cliffhanger for the evening. Like, and that's a question for another time.
I
I can't use my battle maneuver dice for that.
Not with that attitude.
You catch a fish, and it's like in like Zelda 64. No, it's a big fish. You've rolled very well with that. I rolled for like the size and stuff, and yep, you got a nice big fish.
I point at him and thumbs up, and then turn around and I'm gonna start scaling it. Y'all, do we start a fire here or just take this back home?
Take it back home.
Maybe just take it back home. Yeah.
Out of here.
Yeah. So I'll scale it, and then once I'm done with that, we'll casually head back home.
Alrighty.
We're done now.
I forgot about that.
Oh, taking
Yep.
it all the way back. That's so good.
Yep. All right. So yeah, you were able to do all of that, and you make it back, having successfully launched at least the main body of this thing down. Did you keep all the tentacles, or are you just keeping some tentacles? What are you doing with that?
I imagine we keep all the ones that are still usable.
Okay. Yeah, that's potentially all of them could be tinkered with. So.
Awesome. Then yeah, we'll head back, and I guess in the night we'll talk about what we want to do.
Okay.
As our
We'll remove
position
barrel.
going away, or what?
Moving barrel from inventory.
We'll need
So
to get another barrel.
originally the plan was to wait out what was going to be another couple days and then head over to the safe house, because it's actually not that far from you guys. It's maybe just a half a day's journey northeast instead. Do you want to go there earlier? Do you still just want to wait out the next couple days? Do you want to do something different now that there's been a scout nearby? What do you want to do?
I think that maybe using that couple days just to make sure everything is safe, or as safe as we can get it before leaving, might be a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should set up, like we were talking about it before, but like a real perimeter with some kind of like a quiet place type alert system with string and ropes and stuff.
Okay.
And obviously we'll need to talk to who's the hunky orc guy that lives in the
Luke.
woods.
Luke Kilizog or whatever his full name is.
So we'll probably have to talk to him about scouts now in the area. But hopefully if that thing goes downriver, they'll think that's where we are taking it, or it is going, or what.
He can be like the Ronin of the woods, just hunting these things down when they come in the area.
Not solo, though. I think he'd die. I mean, maybe he'd be fine, but also, maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah, those things would be pretty vicious on their own.
I think I trust the Quickling solo, though.
Too small, can't get me in your tentacles. Ha ha. It's like zipping all around.
God damn it! It floated 5 feet off the ground. I can't get it.
You, I'll see you later. Yeah.
It's a mini trampoline, right?
No, yeah.
We need to get him like weird jumpy shoes.
Okay. So we are picking up and moving camp to where?
Well, first we're setting a perimeter, like a good one, near the Marwan house. And then I think we're going to the safe house.
Okay.
Are we bringing everyone with us?
I don't know. Are you bringing the folks with you to the safe house or not? That was a question.
Oh, just we're going to the safe house. That's what's happening. We're heading out and going that way. Sorry, I misheard.
Well, it sounds like you guys are camping out for a bit, make more of a perimeter, gonna use the rest of your 2 days. And then, as planned, head over to the safe house? That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, to find out what's going on with the resistance.
Cool.
Okay. All right, so you do all of that. The question is, are you bringing the parents with you to the safe house, or are you leaving them there with the quickling to...
I think we just go over a plan if they get, if the place is found, to go to the either Incan or the safe house.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they have Luke scouting around, they have the quickling, they have a couple different ways to get away if need be.
Question for Kamira.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say sometime within those 2 days, Luke would make his rounds back over to you guys to check in, as he's probably done a couple of times in the past couple weeks. And how does Kamira act with Luke at this point? Having seen another Luke, having seen multiple possibilities of like how they could be interacting, what is that like for her when she sees Luke again after these, after several more of these visits across to the other side? So he's like, hey.
I think that there's that kind of initial like just general confusion as to like what her reality is despite seeing everything. So there initially might have been like some standoffish like, oh hi, yeah, see you later, bye. And it's just kind of dwindled over to we're just going to be friendly. Like, I'm not pushing at anything. I'm going to be, hey, you're my friend. I've known you since we were kids. Here we go.
Okay. Yeah, I think he would still have that same awkwardness that he had when he first saw you last arc. We're just like, oh, hey, you've grown up. Wow, you look great. Good.
You're an adult now.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. How about that? That's
weird.
Cool. Well, alrighty then. And yeah, he'll pick up on the signal that you're just like being friendly, and he'll like. He's not creepy in any kind of way. He's never like lingering or anything. If anything, he's like not confident enough, and he's just like, oh okay. Well, good then. I'm happy to help out how.
But I will
I can.
Absolutely show him the weird tentacle things. Be like, hey, you need to watch out for this shit. Like, just make him as aware of the threat that I can.
I really don't like that, and I really don't like that. I'd have a hard time seeing them.
As did we, actually. It was Awan that spotted him. Awan?
I really hope that Wolfie here will,
Marwan.
I really hope that my wolf can, smell him out.
Names. Question. Is maybe something to help him spot those, like, as like a trinket or like an item? Is that too far out of the realm of possibility for the Marwans to put together for him if he's out scouting for him?
I don't know. Would a level 1 artificer have anything that can help with perception checks?
Not officially, but if the Marwans are studying the tentacles, I imagine some level of whatever their camouflage power is there. Maybe they can reverse engineer something, but not.
Or give him a similar advantage at least.
Maybe some.
He's just gonna be like,
make it.
That all sounds really complicated.
It is.
engineering, forging stuff. Can I just grab a tentacle for a second? He's just gonna like grab a tentacle and be like, "Here, boy, sniff." The wolf's just gonna sniff it. All right, now you know. He's gonna that should work fine. Thank you, though. I'm sure Anwar's like spinning, like, "Oh, you could do this, you could do that." And it just like goes into like his. What is it? No, that's okay. We just sniff
Alright.
here.
Wolf knows it's fine.
Yeah.
I
Mine too, I guess.
somehow don't think that is going to be enough, but I trust your judgment. Mostly.
The mother wolf will provide.
As she does.
She'll be a good guardian, as she always is. Except for when they need people like us to defend the forest, but it'll work out, I think. Well,
Always
man,
have
it
that
is.
divine intervention.
It has been good seeing you, and with that, I am out. Have a good rest of your day, Kamira, and everyone else.
Be safe.
Come on, Wolfie.
please. Goodbye.
Goodbye. He's just gonna go. He's definitely, you can tell, he is way more socially awkward than the other version of him, who has had a lot more time being with Kamira and feels a lot more confident with her. It's like two different people almost,
Yeah.
and he is
Yeah.
definitely the less socialized of the two. All right. So with
There'll
that,
be a time and a place to help him with that, unfortunately.
So as we're in the cart riding back, Anwar's gonna move over to Miss Kamira. So have you told him he's your alternate universe boyfriend yet?
No, I haven't told him that he's my alternate universe boyfriend yet. That's the thing, though, darling. It gets messy. It's easy to get things crossed, and I don't want that expectation on him. If he's, it's also
So you're
how
still gonna get with
embarrassing.
the other version, right?
I'm sorry,
That's what you said, right?
I didn't hear you.
You said you're trying to the other one, right? The other alternate version one?
Not me. She is. I am not.
I don't know.
I think where you left off with things on the other side, you got the sense that they were together and now they're not together anymore. But since
But
all
also
this crazy
maybe.
timey-wimey stuff happened, he's been helping her deal with that and help to communicate with you.
Mhm.
So he's kind of like back in her life all of a sudden, but you still don't know where things really are.
It's a classic
With them.
slow burn with angst situation. Like
Yeah,
classic.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ah. Look, maybe for them, and maybe for me eventually, but not now. I don't think.
Yeah. Long distance relationships are hard, especially ones across timelines. I wouldn't advise it if I were you.
Anwar
Health things.
Marwan.
Hmm?
Enough. Her cheeks are like just flushed.
He pulls out his journal. Interdimensional romance dead.
What is that? Reaching.
No.
All right. So with that, I guess you guys head off to the safe house.
You know who else
all
might be
does.
dead? Audra. I don't know. Her sister's running around. I don't know. God.
Are you having this not in? We're all in the cart.
Oh, actually, you would have figured out at some point.
Is
Because
Audra
you
dead?
found out a lot of information about what happened at the festival and stuff, and you compared notes because you like wrote letters to each other to like. Audra is alive. You do know that.
Okay.
She just never had the catalyst to leave her original job. So
Gotcha,
she is
gotcha,
just
gotcha.
still there, hammering away at her at the Green Fist.
Right, like the uncle didn't succeed in convincing her to join the rebellion, so she's just still there.
Right, because she never had the catalyst from her sister dying.
Right.
So she's just there, but her sister ended up on a path that somehow got her, so she's in the party in the other group.
Just kidding. My interdimensional timey-wimey romance is dead, but Audra is not. She's alive.
Are you having this conversation like in the wagon where Audra could potentially hear it?
I mean, quietly, but like
Okay.
Well,
not
you're
like
riding
screaming it.
shotgun, where
right.
Hunter's
just
going
talking
on
my ear off or something.
on and on, and if you add this kind of bark to it, then it gives it like a spicy kind of vibe going on. But if you add this like radish to it, you kind of just get pickled radishes with like weird booze. Now, if you want to go different route,
Mm-hmm. And then Audra's doing like the half listening move, like, yeah, that sounds worse than the other one. Yeah.
All right, so you guys will head just kind of like half a day's journey over to get to the safe house. And so you get there around midday, lunchtime. The rain's finally starting to kind of lighten up a bit and get towards a drizzle. And you get up to that same gate again, the kind of stone gate that's made up, about 4 feet high. And then just like before, there's like that lassie dog who will kind of like look up and bark at you, and then will transform into the old Goliath man with his kind of cane out, and standing next to him is Poe, and they're just like gonna have a conversation, and then like they
Son
kind
of
of
a
look over and they're
bitch.
like, "Hey," he's gonna point over to you, and Poe's gonna say, "Oh, you're alive. Well, we've got much to catch up on.
right? Like the fact that y'all are alive.
I'm saying for you."
Well, I mean, for us, it's no surprise, but like y'all, like, hey,
It's a little
Every day we're
surprise.
alive, it's a surprise.
It's such
Well.
a surprise.
I mean, for us, it's a given.
Audra's gonna like walk right up to Poe and then look. She's how tall are Kenku? Like 2 or 3 feet.
I think this one's like 4 feet. He's like dwarf size.
Oh, okay. Either way, it's still considerably taller, and she's just gonna walk right over, stare just directly down at him. There's a lot we need to discuss. I have concerns.
Oh yes, I've got concerns too. Many concerns going on right now. Well, it's good time that you're here. We've got some other guests in the house, so why don't you come over? There's somebody who I think you'll be very interested in seeing again. And he's just gonna start waddling on over towards the house.
Hunter
Yes,
is going
come on,
to like.
let's go. And he's just gonna move with his cane.
Hunter is like right there, neck and neck.
Alrighty. Well, let's go on inside. There's been interesting developments, of course, the whole past few weeks. But we had an especially interesting development earlier today. And he's going to step inside, and when you guys enter into the safe house, you see a few people standing around this dead-looking, this octopus construct. You see one of them just laid out across the table with a group of people looking over it, just trying to figure out what the hell it is. And the guy in the center, looming large over everybody, is the orc from the big three. And he looks over, he's like, "I know you guys." And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Oh, son of a bitch. Like,
Muted, Sid.
It's a good thing because that was very shrill. They have a whole ass construct sitting on
No,
the table.
it's one of the octopus constructs thing that you just sent down the river.
Right, right.
So they
But
fought
the
one
ones that
too.
we said that might be like pushing out data and stuff.
the one
Yeah.
that's tracking their movements?
Yep.
Yep. So we gotta relocate
The
everybody.
safe house isn't so safe no more.
Well, you got till next week to figure out what you want to do about that.
God damn it, Richard.
Richard, I meant
Wait,
to
so-
do this while we were still at the other house. Can we do a real quick rewind?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Cool. So back before we left the Kame house,
Mm-hmm.
or the candy house, Anwar would pull Audra aside real quick towards the Tinker room.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, Audra, these are experimental, so you need to be very careful when using these. It's a different type of energy, a different type of magic that I'm not super familiar with but I think, given your unique stature, you might be the one most suited to wielding these. If you would like, that is. And Anwar, similar to the shield, Anwar's going to pull this chest out over, and he's struggling with it. It's really heavy. And he lifts it and then puts it onto the table. Okay, hold on. Okay. Why don't you pop them open? Why don't you just put them on? And do you open the chest?
Yeah, I was thinking Audra just going, "I'm good," and just leaving. but yeah, she'll like reach a hand out and just with the same like, you know, questioning look on her face, just like, all right, and open it up. And what do I see?
So inside the chest, you see a pair of bronze bracers. They're very elegantly forged, and similar to the whirlwind shield, they are quite heavy when you pick them up first. I mean, you're still strong enough to wield them, but to put them on your hands, they're almost like weighted clothes. Along the side of the bronze bracers, you see two massive green flaming fists. And if you
give me Hulk hands?
If you spend some time with them, you might learn a thing or two about them.
Like when you smack them together like this, they go, "Rah, Hulk smash!"
I was wondering which Avenger you were going to make me. I'll be Blue Hulk.
And you will see the sheet for the Gamma Gauntlets on our Facebook page.
Okay, I will look that up.
Basically, you wear these gauntlets. If you smash them together, the green chaotic energy fuses through your body, and you are allowed to cast Enlarge once per day.
Oh, heck yes. Oh, yes. I've been wanting Giant Audra forever. Yes. Oh, heck yes. Great. All right. Well,
it's concentration. It lasts for a minute. It's once per day. But yeah, you do that. You hear the crack of thunder when it does it, and you transform into Big Audra.
I love it. Audra Plus. I love it. Thank you. Cut from like when we walk into the room, to just like bring it back to the cliffhanger, I guess. Mm-hmm. Cut to just like Audra walks in and sees everybody. So we fought a baby and they caught the mama. Is that what happened?
No, it's the same size. They caught one of the things that you killed, and it's just sprawled out on their table right now.
Well, anyway, so she walks in, sees this crowd, sees the big one, sees it on the table, sees some other members of the Resistance, and just like very like it's like the Arthur meme of like clenching the fist at her side, just like we have things to discuss with these people. Yep.
And that's where we will kick off next episode.
All right. Interesting things popping off.
It's like I was definitely ready to call it a night, but like there? You have to stop there?
I have you right where I want you.
I'm going to save these gauntlets and plug them into my sheet. Thanks, Ryan. Those are dope.
Yep. So now everyone has an artificer invention: the grappling gun, the whirlwind shield, and the gamma gauntlets. Hopefully everyone, and they're all the prototype, but we'll see as the time goes on if they get a little better.
So
everyone's at least got one in the book.
So far we're Iron Man, Hulk, Hawkeye, and Cap.
Yep.
Dope. All right. Well, we'll be back next week. Richard, thanks for getting us back into the swing of things. Hey, there's the shield.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks. I think we all got to shake off the rust together, and we'll get into it big time next week. All right.
Wait, you've got a shield? I've got a shield.
Now I'm looking around to see if I have a shield, but I definitely don't.
Richard, you're a secret Marvel fanboy too. I knew it all along. There you go.
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What's the shield
Like,
emblem?
I'm ready for adventure.
This is like Super Nintendo Link.
Is that what his
Like a
shield
old-
looks like?
Like it might be NES. It's like a really old school Zelda shield.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Interesting.
What is
I
that?
don't
Like
have a shield.
griffin
I
or
have like a bright green plague
And
doctor
then this
mask.
is a Zelda sword.
There's
Well,
a
I got
costume.
an
And then there's
X-wing.
I have a micro SD and SD card adapter. We're like, yo, Sid, that's dope. Did you 3D print that?
Garrett did, yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, with our
Dude.
powers combined, that's the end of the stream. So, bye, y'all. Next week.